Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. The Power Blast podcast is 12 years old this episode, and I've got a bunch of friends coming on to help me celebrate. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast, the power of possibility, passion, and purpose. And I'm so excited. 12 years of this podcast and so many great stories, so many great tips and great moments that have happened over the years. So I thought it would be fun to invite some friends who have been guests on this podcast over the past 12 years to come on and share their experience of what the benefits have been since they decided to put themselves first. Not necessarily how much weight they lost or how they got there, but those things that you just didn't realize would happen as a result of taking care of yourself and making yourself a priority. I can't wait to share this. Some people we did as a live group, we did it as a live chat, and others sent me videos to share. I hope you get a lot of value from this episode. I can't wait to share it. Let's dig in. I want to thank everybody who joined me on celebrating our 12th year of the Power Blast podcast. I can't believe the years have blown by, but we've had so many fantastic stories that have been shared over the years. And so I decided to ask some previous guests, previous rock stars, friends of mine, if they'd be willing to come on and just share as a result of making the decision and making the commitment to get healthy and fit. What were some of the benefits that you all of a sudden realized? How did it change your life? How did it impact the things that you were able to be doing and have moving forwards? Kathy, would you be willing to thanks so much for coming on. Would you be willing to just share that what those benefits or what it's been able to enable you to do since making that decision? We were back in a group together way back when, bringing it with Tony Horton.
The exterminators, right?
The exterminators, yeah.
For me, I had a child with a disability, and the first few years of his life, everything was focused on his health and taking care of him, and I really wasn't taking care of myself. And I had finally gotten to the point where I said to my husband, I haven't lost my baby weight. I feel sluggish. I'm exhausted all the time. And so I purchased P90, the original one. And as I got through it, I just started feeling so much better, so much less stress. And the other really great part about it was that my family started also kind of joining in some of the time and really noticing the difference in my shape and how I had lost the baby weight and not only lost the baby weight, but toned up so much from where I was. But for me, the biggest part when you talk about those extra things besides losing weight and getting better toned, the reduction of stress was huge and continues to be, something that I have to keep working out. I have to keep doing the challenges because that helps keep me sane.
That is a big benefit. You had some back issues, I know, and you're challenged. And as your little boy grew up, just your fitness, you were challenged a lot more to be more demanding of what you needed to put into your work as a mom.
Yeah, and he's 108 pounds now, so when he does the flop and drop, I better be in good shape or this back is not gonna, it's not going to survive. So again, that's the biggest reason for continuing and staying true to programs and to all of the great people that we do the Go For It challenge with. It really helps me avoid serious injury and keep my stress levels down.
Oh, I'm so glad that is It's a really great story. I don't think people can go back to episode 49 and hear all of that. And we should do an update since then. I mean, it's been several years, probably 11 years since we did that one. And man, I just see what you post and some of the challenges that you have, and I know your family just benefits, and a lot of your coworkers too. So I so appreciate you coming on here, Kathy, and sharing that.
You bet. And you're always such a great motivator, and setting up all those great challenges. And, you know, I don't think if I didn't have those reminding me to get off my butt and to, you know, stick with it when I have an injury and overcoming that injury by just giving it another try again, I don't think I'd still be in the shape I'm in. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's so awesome to have you a part of it. I mean, it's one big family, and we have so many great friends, right?
Yeah, that would be another benefit, right? I can't even count the number of great friends I met that I only know virtually, but they're wonderful people, and they've given me great advice over the years.
Yeah, no doubt. It's like they're neighbors, but yeah, we haven't met yet. So good point.
Hi, Perry. It's Barb Pletsch. Hey, congratulations. 12 years on the Power Blast podcast. That's just incredible. Thank you for being such a source of inspiration for all of us for so many years. I got to meet you about 5.5 years ago, and I asked you your advice on what I should do for my next workout. And at the time, people were really excited about doing P90X3. And since that was a shorter version of P90X, which I had already done, I was really looking forward to it. So I thought, okay, this was November or so when I was talking to you. And I thought, well, after the holidays, I'll get started on that. But you said, why wait, Barb? Why don't you just go ahead and get started on that right now? And I did. I started working out. I was with the P90X, and then when P90X3 came out, I started with that, and it always stuck with me. Why wait? Just go for it, as you say in our challenge group. And I did. And I think that's been the biggest reward for me in putting myself first and exercising and eating healthy, is just to go for it. Just to, why wait? Go now, get started, and do something healthy for yourself. And that's made all the difference in the world. I mean, I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my whole life. I eat healthy. I'm an example for others and my family and my friends. And people say, how did you do it? And I say, well, you know, I put myself first and decided that that was the thing I needed to do. And so, Perry, I thank you for helping me be a better person, a fit person, and a person who can help others to achieve their goals. And I really thank you, and congratulations on 12 years, and here's to 12 and many, many more. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
David Salone. Now, David, I'm gonna have you share. We've been buddies for a while. I think back in episode 468, I think you had crushed one of our workouts, and we got together on a podcast episode and chatted about those. But what would you say, has been the things that have really benefited you as a result of, not maybe that time, but just as a result of getting healthy and fit? And what are you able to do now? What's life like?
Well, for me, this all started back when I was 48 years old. So this year I'll be 60. And I started P90X because I was having issues with high blood pressure, and got a phone call after a checkup that I was a borderline diabetic. And so at that point, I was 48 years old, pretty inactive. And prior to that, I was athletic. I was an athlete for a long time. So I dived right into P90X. And I did 5 or 6 rounds of that before I had an unfortunate motorcycle accident. But I will tell you that I had several benefits from it. My blood pressure, since I was 48 and started P90X, has been totally controlled. I've never had to change medications. I still have hypertension, but I've been able to stabilize it, which was what I could not do initially. The second thing is I've never taken any medication for diabetes. It stopped at that point. There was no more threat of it. And for the last 12 years, I've been able to maintain that because of my rigorous workout programs.
Man.
And the last thing is, I live a really active life. I pretty much have the autonomy of all of my time for at least 4 months a year. And I am very active, motorcycle riding, RVing, ballroom dancing, you name it. I'm doing so much physical stuff at my age, even maintenance on my motorcycle, maintenance on my RV. I do all of my own stuff. And so I just don't think that if I was in any type of healthy condition, that I'd be able to do those things.
Yeah.
So I've seen several benefits. It's basically just giving me life and life living it the way that I want to live it.
That's really great. So you kind of got that wake up call and said, you know what, I'm drawing the line, because a lot of people out there, they can play the victim card, you know, and then turn to just nothing but medicine. And instead of it being not really health care, it's like medicine care, whatever it is. But you being able to take control and take charge yourself, I'm sure saving money on prescriptions too. Definitely not having that out of pocket. Definitely a benefit, but really, really cool. Yeah, you are very active. And so I get to catch a lot of the things that you're doing via social media. And I'm like, man, you know, it's a way to set the pace. Thanks so much, David. It's great to have you on here, and good to see you, man.
You too.
Awesome.
Hi, Perry. First of all, congratulations on 12th anniversary of your podcast. They're truly inspiring and motivating. Thank you very much for doing that. But I'd like to talk about some of the benefits that I have noticed as far as putting myself first in my health and wellness programs. Some of the benefits I've noticed is an increase in energy, the ability to set a goal and then meet that goal. For example, whether it be training for a marathon at age 68 or doing 100 push-ups at one time, doing 10 pull-ups when normally I could only do one. Doing these programs have given me the ability to realize that goals are reachable. And my friends have noticed that too. Noticed how amazing I look after doing all these workouts. It allows me to sleep more soundly and to wake up refreshed. Thank you, Perry. Appreciate everything you do for us.
Alida, you joined our groups. You jumped right in with exercise. We're working out. We've had many great conversations about that, and you've been through some things where, you know, your fitness was on, your fitness was off. Some really cool, healthy things that you're doing, paying it forward for other people. For you, what has committing to a healthy and fit lifestyle done for you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, before I started, I had spent about 20 years of my life battling with depression and chronic illness, Epstein-Barr, fibromyalgia, things like that. So, you know, committing to a life of fitness, I think for me really taught me, that it's not so much about a destination. I think I had this in my mind that I wanted it to be and look a certain way. And I kept holding myself to that standard. And I kept falling back into this yo-yo pattern. But the commitment to actually have a life of fitness gave me the opportunity to honor myself in a way that I'd never done before. So I learned how to listen to my body when it was hungry or when it was tired, instead of using food and sleep as a sabotage agent, which is what I was doing before. I learned in taking, ownership for my fitness, how my body was moving. I didn't realize that I was sitting or standing improperly, and that's why I kept injuring myself, or that's why, my joints were always stiff all the time, was because I was sitting improperly, or I was standing or walking crooked. So being able to commit to fitness gave me the opportunity to really get back in my body and get back in touch with my body, which was really cool. it gave me the opportunity to literally leave the culinary industry full-time when I was a chef. I had become a coach 15 years ago. That was a game changer for me. And so it was a huge career change. But then also being in fitness gives me a lot of potential to influence other people. I see a lot of people who come to me especially and say like, hey, I want to be a coach, or I want to go out and motivate people, or I want to go out and inspire people. But if we're not living the life that we want to go out and inspire, there's no way that we can inspire. And being able to use my story and my experiences on a daily basis of living that lifestyle actually is more of an influence than my words. And I think that's probably the coolest part about all of it is I get to walk the talk and be in integrity with the things that I preach. And I think that's probably the coolest benefit of all.
Yeah, it's got to feel good when you know that you're all in alignment that way, right? Wow, man, that's kind of cool that you had all those discoveries and you went through some tough times, but those tough times made you stronger. And once again, you took control and took charge, and figured out a way. And I think a lot of times, many of us, like I was saying with David, some of us can play that victim card, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's important to really understand, like, as you know, in the moments that we do play victim, there's a lesson in that. And I think that's really kind of part of what fitness is all about. It's, I remember hearing someone say that when you practice yoga, you're not just practicing a physical activity, you're practicing how to be inside of your body and how your body responds to your thoughts. And I think that for me is that key takeaway. It's like, if I go into victim, I don't have enough strength to do my workout. I don't have the motivation to actually get up out of bed and do the workout. So it's being aware of saying, okay, you know what? Hey, right now I'm choosing to play the victim. I'm not choosing to honor myself. And which one's going to support me in feeling better tomorrow? And which one do I choose to invest in right now? And that's, I think that's such a big conversation that we could all be having with ourselves. And it could be a game changer for so many people if we were honest enough to have that conversation with ourselves.
Well said. I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you so much for being on here, Alida, and sharing that great nugget of information and great discovery.
Hi, Perry. Happy 12th anniversary. Thanks for inviting me on to share my story. I'll be pretty brief. I'm up skiing. It's a beautiful powder day. Powder's up to my knees, and that's really what I want to share. The huge benefits that I've received from putting myself first, my health, my fitness, has just changed my life in ways that I can't even describe. I'm able to ski, climb, my work is better, my personal life is better, just my whole life. Everything about my day-to-day living is incredible. I was able to go to Panama a couple of months ago and surf. Putting myself first has really changed my life. Thank you so much for helping me on my journey.
Hey, Sandy Gomez, you were on like episode 298, something like that, early on, one of the earlier podcasts. So please share with us what are some of the benefits that you've experienced as a result of getting healthy and fit.
Well, and you've lived it through me, the falling onto the bandwagon, falling off the bandwagon, running desperately behind the bandwagon. So it continues, but I can tell you right now, I'm definitely not the weight I was before I started this journey with you 10 years ago. I haven't ever approached that weight again, which I won't mention, but it's there. Am I where I want to be? No, but I think the being part of your group, being part of Beachbody, it's perspective. To know that it is a long, that I have to, whatever the rest of my life is, to continue to be healthy. And as I look back, and I was having a conversation with my sister, I realized how much better my eating has gotten. And for me, I think we've had these chats where I have to break things down into more bite the elephant, doable goals. I've had some issues with my back. So having the memory of doing P90X repeatedly, that has to adjust. I've learned to eat better. I'm understanding really what food is doing to me. Weighing myself every day and realizing, oh, I ate that and look at what happened, or I ate this and look at how I feel. to the point where I'm transitioning now to completely take dairy out. So for me, I don't know if it's been this, hey, I got really muscular with P90X and I stayed there, but I have definitely matured a lot in really understanding what food does to my body. I'm not a vegan, but I buy natural. Being down here surrounded by farms is great, because there is a lot of fresh food to be had. And being at the point now that my body does really show me the changes of what happens when I put something into it. And the enlightenment that's come with that. So for me, it's been just kind of a, my brothers are diabetic, there's blood pressure, there's cancer, and my results when I go to the doctor are definitely not, she says, in the range of the 56-year-old that I am. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Man, that's really cool. I don't think many of us get the, I don't know how many people actually get to experience. Well, the experience of knowing what foods do to you. Now, granted, somebody goes out and eats, some sort of spicy sauce or whatever, and it gets stomach aches and all that stuff, or, but to actually have that feedback and to get your body at a point where, kind of at a reset sort of state where as you're introducing foods or what foods are working for you or against you, to be able to do that. That's a big discovery, a big aha.
It's been great and it's been fun, especially with the fruit, to eat very different fruits, and I'm trying different stuff and knowing immediately what that glycemic index, and again, I'm not diabetic, but just seeing how I can balance, understanding what a crave is. I eat no meat of any sort whatsoever. And staying healthy. So it's been it's been a lot of fun. I've gotten back into Darian Olian's book and understanding superfoods, and it's I would have never told you that I would have gone down this path if that would have been my oh wow. But it's actually become my oh wow,
Isn't it funny? I think if all of us were to look back 12 years ago, when this podcast was starting, where we were at that point in our lives, and then the things that we're sharing tonight, what would our younger self have believed that those are the things that we'd be sharing? Kind of an interesting thought. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sandy. And who's with us right there?
That's Mr. Photobombing himself. His name is Beauregard, but he's not bright enough for all of that. So we'll all just call him Beau.
Good to see you on here, Beau. Awesome. Thanks, Sandy.
Hey, Perry. Congratulations on 12 years of your Power Blast podcast. Thank you so much for being such an inspiration to so many people. It's so cool to see what you do and to be part of your fitness journey with you. So the reason I wanted to send you a quick video was to share some of the things that I've gained from making health and fitness a priority in my life. So number one, I've learned actually that I am far stronger and healthier than I ever thought I would be. There's a lot of health issues in my family, and I don't want to be part of that. And so far, so good. Second of all, I wanted to just let you know that when people, like you and I and others share our fitness journeys, people watch from the sidelines and they get inspired, and so that's really cool to be a part of. And lastly, I have been able to make so many cool friends across the country who I never would have met outside of just being a part of our fitness journey and our fitness groups and things. So that's just been really neat as well. So thanks again for all that you do, and congratulations on 12 years.
Dad, you were on one of my first podcasts, like way back when, like episode 69, and then both of you came on like in episode 438 because you were sharing your journey. You just completed a fitness program together and got some really good results. But aside from all that, when I can remember the day that you were telling me, I think we want to get healthy and fit. And I'm like, really? Because you didn't live that lifestyle all growing up. And so once you started that, what are some of the things, and I know you guys have a laundry list of things that you could share, but what are some of the things that you've noticed that has really benefited you as a result of making that decision, committing, and getting healthy and fit?
Well, it took us a few years. You got into Beachbody, and we watched you grow on Beachbody. Number one, first thing is congratulations on sticking to the job for 12 years that you've been doing this.
Thanks.
I think you've helped a lot of people out. Of course, that's just my biased opinion. But, that is it. I'm type 2 diabetic, and that's why I wanted to get involved in Beachbody. To try to improve myself. I missed doing a lot of the workouts. I was maybe a year and a half ago, I was walking 3 miles a day. I didn't need an excuse. I get up early in the morning and I take off. And there's a trail around my area here that it starts and stops at 3 miles. I walk in a circle and it comes out. But that was the exercise part of it. But Autumn Galbraith's taught us a lot about eating with her diets, etc. And I didn't realize that what we eat does matter. It adds up. Just changing my eating habits alone without the exercise. Right today, I'm 76 years old. Sharon and I both are 76, and this is the first time about 3 months ago that I got myself under 200 pounds.
Congrats.
Which was quite a compliment, and I did most of that just by changing my eating habits. I was this side of threatened by my endocrinologist that told me that my pancreas was slowing down if it existed at all, and she said that the next thing to go if we don't start improving things is we're going to start amputating. First goes the feet, then the legs, and etc. So that's encouraging words for you. So I stayed with her diet plan, and Beachbody. We have been in Beachbody since '07. We've drank Shakeology for breakfast ever since it came out, and our lunch is a light salad most of the times, and our dinner is very, very few carbs. And that's what my endocrinologist told me to cut back on. So if it hadn't started with you back in '07, well, I still might ballooned on up to past the 375 by now.
Wow.
Who knows?
Wow.
But anyway,
Congrats.
I've dropped a total right now of pushing 85 pounds.
Wow.
And proud of it. I'm proud of myself, proud of my doctor, proud of all the people that support me. So it's tough. It's to go out and do the exercises. I have plantar fasciitis in both heels of my feet, so standing up alone is a lot of pain. But fight through it, suck it up, and let it go. We just can't appreciate what Beachbody has done for us, and our son pushing us. I mean, anybody can stay doing this for 12 years. It was almost like going through high school.
That's true. There's some math for you. Wow. Well, way to go. And I know you've had a lot of other benefits too, but thanks for sharing that. That was really awesome. Mom, how about you? what sort of things, what has been a benefit or a couple of benefits that you've realized?
Number one, walking on the treadmill for 20 minutes. When you ask, Mom, what are you doing for exercise? Oh, Perry, I walk on the treadmill. How long? Oh, 20 minutes. Is that it? Well, yeah, that's it. Isn't that enough?
Well, and I saw the pace that you were doing that too. There was a thing there, because 20 minutes could be good on the treadmill. But anyway, go ahead.
Decided to join the group of Beachbody, and it was way back when Debbie Stevers was with Beachbody, and gee, I thought that was just wonderful. And then I said to Perry, gosh, I love that so much. I want to move on. What else can I do? Oh, then I started doing some kickboxing and punching, and he said, Mom, I never knew you had that in you. I said, I didn't either. And so I continued on with that, and then I went with Autumn Calabrese. Hey, well, this is fun. I like what she's doing. Oh, I'm going to get her cookbook. Oh, man, I love the recipes in there. So I went with that. So my body started getting nice and fit. I'm like, wow, this is really awesome. But I think one of the main things was being with Beachbody, I could do things that maybe I couldn't do before, like reach down and pick something up off the floor, or stoop down to get something out of the cabinet and stand back up. And one of my girlfriends said, how did you do that? Well, what do you mean? Well, how did you get down like that and stand up without holding on to anything? Well, it's my quadriceps. Oh, how did you do that? Beachbody, exercises, that's what did it. Also, I've had breast cancer in both breasts. I have a swallowing issue. So I took Shakeology to my oncologist, and I said, if there's something in here that's bad, I won't do it. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. You're getting all your nutrients through that Shakeology. So go ahead and drink that every single day, and I'm going to take you off of 6 pills, vitamins and minerals that you don't have to take because you're getting them through Shakeology. So I've never looked back. It's all been good for me.
That is really, really incredible. I remember that story too. It kind of a funny story where she had gone and bought all of these supplements one day, then got that news from endocrine. No, who was it? Yeah, and then ended up taking them back to the store the very next day. So that was really cool. Glad they had a little kept your receipt and everything like that. But yeah, that was one thing. I was hoping that you would say this, because I knew for you two that one of the reasons was, if we could start just living and doing things a little bit healthier, maybe we could get off some of these medications. Didn't mean that it's going to cure things, but hopefully lighten the load. And medications, they can add up on the wallet. So I'm so proud of you two and what you've done and what you continue to do. And yeah, I know that a lot of the friends in the family they're looking and going, my gosh, I wish I could do that. So
say one thing.
Yeah.
I was in line to get a flu shot one day, and I saw all the people in front of me around my age, and they either had walkers or they were in a wheelchair. And I said, boy, I don't ever want to be like that for as long as I can move. So that's another reason for doing Beachbody.
Yeah. I know it's going to inspire other people. A lot of times I think people look at getting healthy and fit and they're thinking they're having to give up something. They're maybe going to lose some weight. And that would be cool, because then maybe you can wear some smaller clothing. But a lot of times there are so many benefits that happen where people you don't realize it, because it's become an abstract thing, or it's a thing of the past that you forgot about. I know for me, one of the subtle things is just like, man, I don't pull muscles as often as it always seemed like I was tweaking something, and then you're out of commission, and how did that go away? And just little things like that are some of those victories that you don't always realize that are going to happen until they do. And then you have a new appreciation for it. And so I appreciate all of you for coming on here and sharing your journey. Well, not sharing your journey, but sharing your insights on what it's done for you, because I think it's really powerful, and I think it'll really help a lot of people. And thank you for helping celebrate 12 years of Power Blast. And here's to the next 12, right?
You have a couple of friends here in the area that we run into occasionally. And when you miss or late with a podcast, I'm called, "What's wrong with Perry? Where is he? How come he is? I missed his podcast. He's not reaching out to us," and they look forward to it. So again, we applaud you. Thank you for being there for 12 years. Keep it going.
It's just wonderful. It brings me chills. Thanks for sharing that and passing that along. It's really cool to know somebody's out there listening, and I know people are, and it's so fun to share great stories and great tips and ideas that not just to help people get healthy and fit, but to live better lives that can be happier, can be more productive, more organized, more focused, have a little more fun, and make the most out of life, and be able to travel like Sandy's doing, and David, and doing cooking shows, and taking care of the family, and just inspiring relatives and friends and coworkers, and just being able to keep up with the grandkids, right? So all of you, thank you so much for coming on tonight, and I can't wait to share this with so many people. Wow is all I can say. It brings me such joy to have brought this to you, to be able to share those experiences. I know that you probably have experienced many things as well, and you may have your own things that you can reflect on and go, wow, yeah, that happened because I decided to put myself first, make myself a priority, and all these other things, all these doors open or opportunities happen as a result. So I encourage you to dig deep inside and think about those things that you've been able to do for yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back, acknowledge yourself, and thank you so much for being a part of that. And if you'd like just some really simple tips on how you can kickstart your day by putting yourself first and making yourself a priority, download my free cheat sheet at myfitstart.com, and you can have all those great tips and ideas. Just a great kick-butt way to start your day. I so appreciate you for coming on and subscribing and helping us celebrate 12 years of the Power Blast podcast. You absolutely rock. Just know that you can get this on video, and you can get it in audio as well, just by going and searching for Power Blast Podcast in your podcast app. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember,
it's never too late.
It's never too late.
Nunca es muy tarde.
It's never too late.
I'm 76 years old, and it's never too late.
I'm 76 years old, and it's never too late.
we'll see you next week.